Well, I think, we see it as a flood of people heading in our direction, and I think what we don't pay attention to is why they're doing it, and nobody, really nobody wants to be a refugee. They're always driven to do it. And what is happening, what has been happening in the Horn of Africa, for example, for a very long time now, and it's now also happening in the Middle East, is the breakdown of states. That you have non-functioning states reduced to warring gangs, all of which are extraordinarily brutal and ordinary human beings caught in the crossfire. And that's why they're running. And then, of course, there are extraordinarily unscrupulous individuals offering to transport them in vessels which are clearly unseaworthy and unfit for transportation, and who don't seem to care if they live or die, just exploiting the situation financially. So these are people at the mercy of a lot of different things, a lot of cynical people and a lot of brutal people. And if we're going to solve this problem, then we have to address the causes of it. And I think we're looking at the flood of refugees, and we're not looking behind them at why they're coming. Because in the end, if you don't solve the civil war in Syria, if you don't bring a conclusion to the war in Eritrea, it's going to keep on happening. No, I mean, I think everybody has a responsibility. It's just a human being responsibility. I do worry and feel, annoyed that the states closest to the refugees culturally, the ones which actually where Arabic is spoken and where people are Muslim and where it would be easiest for them to fit in, those are the states doing nothing. Saudi Arabia, zero. And the Gulf states, zero. And it seems to me that there is a real failure there, and it would be reasonable, I think, the General Assembly is meeting now. It would be quite reasonable for the United Nations to put pressure on those states which share a language and culture with a lot of the refugees to do a lot more in the way of receiving them.